It looks like there's been something pretty sinister going on in here, but it's actually not something too bad. But I thought I would share what's going on in Falcatraz with you. G'day, it's Rachel here from Bush Edge Homesteading Australia, and today I'm coming down to do a bit of a pickup of eggs with my eldest, who normally does the egg collection, don't you, buddy?
Yep.
And I just wanted to show you something that's going on in here at the moment because it looks bad. It looks like we have lost a chicken, but we have not lost a chicken, have we?
Yeah, as we can see, all 4 of our chickens are safe and sound.
They
If
are.
you look down, one of them is currently pecking my foot.
Yes, she is giving you a bit of a peck. So all 4 chickens, the 2 browns and the 2 white girls, are all present and accounted for. But all around the pen at the moment, it looks like there's kind of bits of chicken, but it's not bits of chicken. It's feathers, and feathers are absolutely everywhere. And in fact, they've been going in and out of the quail enclosure lately. And in the quail enclosure, there is absolutely feathers everywhere. And that's because 2 of our girls are molting at the moment. And they're at the stage now where they're growing back their feathers. Now these girls... She tried to jump on us. Well, that was fun.
Yes, that was fun.
The 2 girls... Can I give you this, bud?
Okay, I'll
Do you want to go get the eggs? And I'll show these 2 girls and what's going on. They aren't the friendliest chickens, not like the brown chicken here. The 2 white girls, they are a little bit more flighty, but if I can zoom in, hopefully you can kind of see that they've got these feathers that are starting to grow back now. And for a little while, they had quite bald patches on them. And that's because, oh, charming, she's just pooped. This is going to be a fun video. Chickens pooping and chickens pecking on legs. Look at that. Sorry, I'm getting completely distracted here by the goings on. So the 2 girls over here, you can kind of see where they've had the balder patches that were on them, and now their feathers are growing back. And it's just a normal thing that goes on with the chickens at this time of year. You know, we've kind of come through a lot of autumn now. We're getting to the later stages, heading towards winter. And yeah, it just means that the chickens, they kind of lose feathers, grow their new ones for the winter time. And yeah, in the time that happens, things look pretty dire in your chicken enclosure. And as I said, it kind of looks like we've lost a chicken, but we have not. All right, now there is another consequence of the molt, and it's not just feathers lying everywhere, it's the eggs. So, could you want to hold that for me?
Molting chickens do not lay eggs.
Yeah, that's right. So they definitely slow down or quite often stop, and the chickens have stopped. So the 2 eggs that we've got here, these are both the eggs from our 2 Isa Browns. And as you can see, they've not been molting. So they still have all of their feathers. None of the feathers that are around here at the moment are off of these girls. And they are still laying plenty of eggs for us at the moment. They will slow down once the winter kind of starts, and quite often they actually stop during the winter time as well. But for now, they're laying, and the girls over here that are our white chickens, they are not. Now, it is worth noting, if you're stressed about this and you see this happening to your chickens, that it is a really normal thing to happen, particularly at this time of year. So once it starts getting a little bit cooler and the days get shorter as well, that's around the time that quite often you see this happen with your chooks, because what they're doing is they're kind of shedding those old feathers so that they can grow new ones. And the new feathers, they need the good ones for the winter time so that they can keep themselves nice and warm. And that's essentially what you're seeing here happen with the chooks. They're shedding those feathers. That's why they look kind of bald. And then the new feathers come through and you kind of see those pin feathers and then them kind of open up. Now, it does happen differently with different chooks. And yeah, you can really see the difference when you look at these 2 girls here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. Get a little bit closer without startling her. The white ones really don't like us getting too close. Yeah, so you can see the difference between the two chooks that we've got here. Now, it is worth noting that it can be quite different in terms of the level of molt with different chicken breeds. So you can see we've got two different varieties that we keep, the white ones that we refer to as the white chickens, being the leghorns, and we've also got the Isers, which are the Iser Browns. And we've had a really big molt off of our white chooks. Very different levels of molting from the brown chickens though. They've lost a couple of feathers, but nothing like what we've seen with our white chickens. So yeah, do just keep that in mind. Like, there can be a huge amount of variation in terms of the level of molting that you can get with different chickens. Now, in terms of the why they stop kind of their egg laying or slow down their egg laying, well, a big part of that is because one of the inputs into growing feathers is one of the same as what goes into eggs. So yeah, off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact thing that is. I think it's like keratin or something like that, or to do with the calcium. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but basically, one of the things you need to grow feathers is one of the same things you need to grow eggs. So they redivert that. They put it all into their growing of their feathers so that they're nice and healthy, and then they can go on to growing their eggs for you later once they've gone through their molt. Some people do have some ideas on things that you can do to try and get your chickens to start laying again after they've kind of been through the molt, or even while they're in molt. But generally, my experience is you just kind of need to let them do their thing, molt, and then they'll start laying again at a later time, once they're over that molt. I will say sometimes that whole period can be quite prolonged though, because they go from the molt at this time of the year into kind of the winter here in the Dandenong Ranges, where it's darker, it's quite cold. Because you don't have those longer daylight hours, they really don't come back on the lay particularly well until things really start warming up again and the daylight hours start getting a little bit longer. Once the spring happens, we do find we don't get a lot of eggs in the winter time here. You guys would probably have a laugh. As I'm trying to film this, I have a chicken pecking at my leg and trying to distract me. So hopefully I'm making sense in this video with you guys. It is worth noting that there can be some other reasons that chickens might lose feathers. They could be getting plucked, they could have lice and things like that as well. So do just make sure there's nothing else going on with your chooks if you do see feathers like this everywhere. But yeah, this time of the year, it's pretty expected around here, so I'm not too stressed about what I'm seeing here. So if you are someone new to keeping chickens and you see that there is lots of feathers around and all your chickens are accounted for, of course, don't stress too much, because molting for chickens is a quite normal thing. So hopefully it helps to understand that if you are new to keeping chickens and you see something like this. All right, guys, I think we'll leave it there. So thanks a bunch for joining. And as always, catch you later.
Catch you later.
The chicken is now back to pecking my leg.
Chickens love pecking our legs for some reason.
Yeah, well, particularly this one. She's definitely a character, isn't she?
There you go.